Zero, illegal immigration or law and order, nothing is off limits.
You had the power then.
Yeah, as I
And
say,
now you've lost it.
That's the Camilla Tominey Show, a politics show that's fearless.
But no, let me finish my question if you don't mind, because it is my show.
Sundays at 9:30, only on GB News, the People's Channel, Britain's news channel.
Mornings don't have to be tiresome, especially if you have the right company.
Wake up to news as it happens, opinion and debate, and of course, a little bit of entertainment too.
Because when the kettle's on, we're on.
That's Breakfast on GB News, a show worth waking up for.
Every morning from 6 a.m.
Only on the People's Channel, Britain's news channel.
We'll spread the news, you spread the word.
From the school run to the home run, watch a new show for all of Britain.
He can say whatever he wants.
A straight talking show where all voices are heard.
And when are we going to stop talking about smashing the gangs and actually do it?
With the stories that matter from every part of our country.
It's a bit of a crash landing there for your Chancellor.
Bold, fearless, and standing up for you. That's me, Martin Dormy, 3 p.m. till 6 p.m. weekdays, here only on GB News. The People's Channel, Britain's news channel.
I'm Michael Portillo. This is GB News, the People's Channel, Britain's news channel.
Welcome back, everybody. Let's play a little clip of this bombshell interview that Ben Leo's done with Steve Witkoff.
Feeling of gratitude. I think the president's position is that we do plenty for Europe, plenty for the UK, in the area of trade, in the area of defense, in the area of the support we give to NATO. And I think sometimes the response back, the reciprocity back is a little bit lacking. I would leave.
Well, that is coming up tonight at midnight on The Late Show Live. Ben Leo's joining me now to tell me more about that interview. Ben, tell us more. Are we ungrateful? Is that what we are expecting to hear tonight?
Pretty much. Mr. Witkoff is very diplomatic. He doesn't want to get dragged into criticising people directly. Also, I think there is a general consensus that members of Trump's team don't want to overstep the mark with President Trump. If Trump wants to criticise Keir Starmer, he'll do that. But, I mean, Mr. Witkoff, that said, he still did say, look, the consensus is, the reception is that the UK, Europe as well, he said, has been pretty ungrateful and has been less than reliable in recent past. I put one example to him about when Keir Starmer, if you remember, virtue signalled with Emmanuel Macron by recognising Palestine as a state during the really crucial Hamas-Israel peace negotiations. And Secretary of State Marco Rubio came out recently and said, when they did that, those two people, I was about to call them clowns, but Rubio didn't call them clowns, that's me. When Starmer and Macron did that, they almost scuppered the Hamas-Israel peace process after months and months and months of tireless work from the likes of Rubio and Witkoff. So I was talking to Mr. Witkoff about that kind of general unreliability from the UK, and he was saying, and again it's clear to make this distinction, it's not the British people, it's not our great nation, it is particularly this Labour government and this Prime Minister. We also spoke more widely about the Iran conflict. When might it end? There's been mixed messaging from the Trump administration. President Trump yesterday saying that perhaps it could end even this week, yet Pete Hegseth, the Secretary of War, was saying we've only just begun. So we tried to iron out some of those discrepancies. And also the breaking news tonight that there are mines. Iran is placing mines in the Strait of Hormuz, that key passage for international gas and oil exports. Witkoff was saying if they do that, there will be severe consequences. And funnily enough, minutes later, President Trump took to Truth Social to say that the US have blown up many Iranian mine boats. So, it was a great interview. Can't wait to share it with the viewers from midnight on GB News. What's the time now? Yeah, in 20 minutes' time. Don't go anywhere.
You said it for me, Ben. You said it for me. 20 minutes' time. That brilliant interview Ben Leo's done today. Really interesting stuff. Of course, it's all we're talking about, really. It's the biggest story in the world. Ben, look forward to seeing you in just 20 minutes' time. Thanks for joining us this evening. I just want to ask my panel about this story. I guess what we're going to hear tonight, at least what the tidbits that Ben has given us, that America sees that we're perhaps an unreliable partner now, Paul, that they're obviously not targeting the British people. They love the British people, is what we've heard. It's the Prime Minister. It is the government. There was historically, well, I say historically, the last 18, 19 months, we picked up this great relationship they've all had. How it's all come crumbling down, was it predictable?
I guess it was predictable, but if you think about it politically, irrespective of what politics our leaders have had, since World War II, we have always maintained a great relationship with the United States of America. And the reason we've done that is because they are our closest ally. And people are becoming more and more sort of dumbfounded by the fact that this is a thing. It's always been a thing, and it's a pact that is not just sort of, it's almost spiritual, right? We stand side by side by these people. That a lot of Americans came from the UK, of course, including Trump's family, and we share a culture. And I think that the more our culture is eroded, the less we understand why the friendship is important.
How is our culture being eroded, Paul?
Our culture's being eroded all the time.
No, it's not.
Our culture's being eroded. The fact that I've even had to speak about it, or you've even answered the question. If you were to say to
something, so I'll ask you that.
Why don't we let's stick to the war for a moment.
I find
this interview is going to be really interesting.
Look, first of all, the UK and the US have not had a plain sailing relationship for the last 80 years. Suez was a total catastrophe for UK-US relations. You had the invasion of Grenada, which Margaret Thatcher was completely furious about, and obviously you've had difficulties with Trump. It's what I find interesting about what the two of you in particular were saying in a few minutes ago about how we should be worried about the US because they need to defend us is the transactionality that you're basically admitting to, that if we somehow maybe dare to have a different foreign policy or stand up for our own interests, America won't come to our defense. What kind of friend is that? What kind of post-war settlement is that, where the US will help us if we're attacked, provided that we are bootlicking to them all the time and allowing them to declare illegal wars on our basis?
Okay, it's not about bootlicking, it's about being an ally. And what's so stupid about what people like you are saying is, of course, that it's absolutely reasonable to ask, is there an end game to this? Why was it done now? What is the strategy from Trump? How long will this go on? But if you actually offer, if Starmer was not so stupid, what he could have done was said, right, use our bases. That doesn't mean we need to be involved, but we are, let me finish, and then but we are your ally. Then he could be at the table with Trump and ask those questions, actually be a part of the conversation about what happens long term. Instead, I did an interview with an American radio station today, and you know what they said? They just said it was sad. They weren't upset. They were sad about what has happened to the UK and how we are not standing shoulder to shoulder with them.
Alliance doesn't mean unconditional surrender. It doesn't mean friendship means standing up to your friends and telling them when they're doing something terrible and illegal and catastrophically, with something that's going to go backfire on them catastrophically.
Deal with Trump by being with him, not by being against him. He is polarizing. That is how he is. And so I'm sorry, that is what we should have done. That doesn't mean you have to support every aspect of the conflict. Doesn't mean you need to put boots on the ground yourself, but the very least we could have done was offer them our bases. And now, with you turning on that
British people are against your position. They're on my side, not yours. And by the way, opposition to the war has gone up by 10 points according to the last YouGov poll.
All right, listen, some serious breaking news. Coming up after the break, we've got this breaking news from Switzerland. At least 6 people have been killed in a bus fire in Switzerland, which was allegedly started by a man inside the vehicle, according to police and local media reports. I'll bring you the latest on that after the break.
I forecast a perfect holiday in the sun.
Weather looking good then.
For sure, and no worries about our travel insurance.
All Clear Travel Insurance sponsors GB News Travel Destinations Forecast.
Hello, are you heading away for the next week or so? Well, there's showers affecting the Canary Islands at the moment, sunny spells in the Mediterranean, however, and across parts of Portugal and Spain. There is some sunshine for the time being. It is set to turn more unsettled here later on into the weekend. For Rome, 17 degrees of risk of showers, the sunny spells across much of the Mediterranean throughout this week. And that theme does continue into the weekend, but for Spain, it will turn much wetter. Bye-bye.
All Clear Travel Insurance sponsors GB News Travel Destinations Forecast.
Hi, I'm Michelle Dewberry, and my show is your opportunity to cut through all the noise and dive in headfirst to some robust debates. Ideas clash.
Situations.
No,
Because the failure is...
You're deliberately avoiding my point. Nothing's held back,
And if you think this is the end of it, wait for more.
and we do not shy away from the difficult stuff.
Sometimes I want to shake people and say, if only you understood.
So join me on Dukes and Kerr weeknights at 6 p.m. only on GB News, Britain's news channel.
From the school run to the home run, watch a new show for all of Britain.
He can say whatever he wants.
A straight talking show where all voices are heard.
And, you know, when are we going to stop talking about smashing the gangs and actually do it?
With the stories that matter from every part of our country.
It's a bit of a crash landing there for your chancellor.
Bold, fearless, and standing up for you. That's me, Martin Daubney, 3 p.m. till 6 p.m. weekdays, here only on GB News, the People's Channel, Britain's news channel.
At GB News, we love to hear from you, our loyal community. So drop us a line at gbnews.com/yoursay. There, you can talk to each other and also to the presenters live on air. gbnews.com/yoursay. Because GB News is your channel, Britain's news channel.
If you want to know what's really going on in the corridors of power, Labour don't know what to do with you half the time, and that makes you quite lethal in the chamber. Get behind the headlines with Chopper's Political Podcast. Join me, Christopher Hope, as I sit down with the great and the good of British politics. We'll see where this ruling takes us. These are the stories shaping our nation. Chopper's Political Podcast, available now on all platforms. Listen in and stay ahead.
Join me, Nana Akwe, for an informative, interactive news programme with a difference. It's fun. No, he didn't say that, Dave. It's a surprise.
I think there's an element of truth to that.
Please join me from 3 p.m. every weekend, only on GB News, Britain's news channel.
In the GB newsroom, we bring you the news as it happens.
With our team of dedicated journalists across the UK, we're ready to keep you up to date with what's happening every half an hour, every single day. Bulletins here on GB News, the People's Channel,
Britain's news channel.
Mornings don't have to be tiresome, especially if you have the right company.
Wake up to news as it happens, opinion and debate, and of course, a little bit of entertainment too.
Because when the kettle's on, we're on.
That's Breakfast on GB News, a show worth waking up for.
Every morning from 6 a.m.
Only on the People's Channel, Britain's news channel.
We'll spread the news, you spread the word.
Welcome back. Breaking news tonight. At least 6 people have been killed in a bus fire in Switzerland, which was allegedly started by a man inside the vehicle, according to police and local media reports. Officials said the blaze took place in Kazers at around 6:25 p.m. local time. 5 people have been injured, with 3 of them taken to hospital. It's not clear how many were on the bus when the fire started. Quite tragic indeed. It looks, if you're seeing the pictures and listening on radio, the bus does look completely and utterly destroyed. Just a reminder of that breaking news. At least 6 people have been killed in a bus fire in Switzerland, which was allegedly started by a man inside the vehicle, according to local media reports. Officials said the blaze took place in Kazers at around 6:25 p.m. local time. 5 people have been injured, with 3 of them taken to hospital. It's not clear how many were on the bus when the fire started. Okay. We'll move on from that story. We'll keep you posted if we hear any more. Let's go to the front page of the Times. Today, Darren Jones, whose job now I think is Chief Secretary to the Treasury. He's been moving around a little bit, hasn't he? He announced and showed off the new digital ID to the nation. On the bottom of the Times, you might not be able to see it on your screens there, but at the bottom of the Times there, digital ID in doubts. So Keir Starmer could par back his digital ID plan because of fears it would cause privacy and safeguarding issues if applied from birth. However, they are still intent on rolling it out, as we saw this demo by Darren Jones MP today, where he was showing off how quick you could pay your taxes or do your admin. You can do it within a cup of tea, they were selling it to you as. Of course, they're saying now it is not compulsory.
And also, just to add to that, the Telegraph is also reporting that they're the opposite of them being in doubt. People's Panel, they're saying, set up to save digital ID plans. Government setting up a People's Panel in a last-ditch attempt to turn public opinion in favour of the policy. It's an 8-week consultation, probably at the cost of hundreds of thousands of pounds, and it will create a digital ID for government services, which were watered down after some of the MPs rebelled. I mean, the reason it had to be watered down and the reason different reasons as to why it's happening. It's going to stop immigration, it's going to make your life easier, it's going to be able to pay your taxes. I mean, I'm surprised, I'm not going to be able to marry it. It's ridiculous.
Something about marriage was actually... Why do you need digital ID to do those things? Surely we can make government that efficient without having to require everyone to get a digital passport, Paul.
Oh, well, absolutely. And it doesn't make it any more efficient in the countries that they quote. It works. But it doesn't do. For France and Germany have got an equally big issue with immigration that the UK have got, and they've got digital ID. So the whole argument is undermined by saying